1 year ago, we powered our homestead off-grid for the first time with the EG4 6000XP.
With 3 LifePower4 lithium batteries.
And 22 400-watt solar panels. The fridge, the freezer, the lights, the water pump, all of it is all running off this one system. But a few weeks ago, it all went dark.
Poof.
Total blackout with no warning.
Nada.
In this video, we're going to give you the full, honest 1-year review of our off-grid system, what has worked, what hasn't worked, and exactly what caused that blackout. So if you're thinking about this off-grid system, this EG4 system, we're going to give you the real scoop. Do not buy until you watch this video.
7 Sigma Off-Grid.
If you're new here, we're 7 Sigma
Off-Grid.
And we're a husband-wife team who left the city and bought 22 acres of raw land in the Southern Sierra Nevada mountains and have had our off-grid property for over 5 years now, and we are building it from scratch. A year ago, we decided on the EG4 6000XP,
3 LifePower4 lithium batteries,
and 22 400-watt solar panels, which we call the system.
With the Predator 13,000 generator sitting behind it as a backup.
We are going to give you the real deal. Signature Solar is a partner of this channel. However, this is not a sponsored video and nobody paid us to give this review.
Not one dime, not one penny, nada.
So, let us walk you through exactly what we're running, because if you're shopping for an off-grid solar system, you would want to see how this is going to fit into your lifestyle. This right here is the heart of the whole system, the EG4 6000XP. Every single thing in our home runs through this one unit, charging up and discharging down. It has held up exactly like day one.
This is the 48-volt lithium battery bank. This is where the power actually gets stored. Solar fills it up during the day, and the house pulls from it at night. The inverter is in closed-loop communication with the batteries. The solar array. 22 400-watt Silfab solar panels wired in series. The sun does all the work, and the panels provide DC power to the inverter. However, during the winter and overcast days, that's where our backup comes in. We run a Predator 13,000 generator paired with the EG4 Chargeverter. The generator makes the power, and the Chargeverter cleans it up and uses it to charge the battery bank directly and tops the batteries back off. This is our safety net for bad weather and blackouts. We can watch through the EG4 app on our phones, laptop, and tablets. The dashboard is how we check our state of charge, our voltage, and how much solar power we're using. And this is exactly where the blackout started.
Okay, so here are our wins. For over a year, this system has simply did its job and ran everything that it needed to run without any drama.
Win number 2.
Seasonal performance. The system handled the winter cold plus the summer heat with no problem. Win number 3. The EG4 app made it easy to see what the system was doing at a glance.
Which ironically is also how we found out the calibration issue.
Win number 4, tech support. When something did go wrong, we got a senior EG4 tech on the phone who walked us through everything. And lastly, win number 5.
What's win number 5?
What's your number 5?
Use your system.
Okay, the blackout. Okay, here's exactly what happened. It was around 9 p.m. We were watching TV and boom. Everything just went dark. Everything stopped. It went zhoo. Okay, guys, we just had a blackout. The whole house has went dark. We don't know why. The fridge was off, the freezer was off, the water pump was off, the light
heater was out.
Everything. Yeah, we had to figure some things out while we were sitting in the dark.
Yep.
And then once we have determined that there was not a threat, we actually thought the worst. Like, what happened to our EG4 system? So that was the next thought.
And we couldn't even check because the Starlink was connected to the power. So we had no internet access in order to troubleshoot the system.
So no phone, no internet, no lights, no nothing.
We were screwed.
Up until then, the system had been working fine. There was no issues or anything. So this was our first time that we have experienced this, and we were really unprepared for it.
So I plugged up the Starlink and refrigerator to our little portable power generator and was able to get internet so I can go online and start troubleshooting what's going on the EG4 monitor app. And I used the AI demons.
There was nothing for us to do at that point, so it was already nighttime. We just decided to go to bed and troubleshoot the rest of it in the morning.
And we didn't want to break out the generator because it wasn't worth it. We just go to sleep and deal with it in the morning.
Yeah.
Disconnected all the communication per AI and just started with one battery, make sure it's talking to the inverter. And then once the inverter was able to talk to this battery, it said that the state of charge was 0. So then what it told me to do is just connect the one battery and let it charge for 30 minutes to an hour. So I started letting it charge. About 40 minutes later, later, the warning sign over here disappeared. Look, no warning. See the happy face? It said just hold up, wait until this gets above 50%, and then run a little small load, turn some lights on, turn the fridge on, see if it works, and then hook up battery number 2 and repeat the whole process again. And then do the same thing on the third battery, which probably threw the whole system out of whack last night anyway. So that's where we're at right now.
After all of that, we got Signature Solar on the phone, and the first tech we worked with looked at our system, and then they started piecing everything together, trying to figure out what's going on. And what they found was not at all what we expected. Okay, so here's the simple version of what our first tech found. Can I say now?
Go.
Okay.
I'm interrupting you.
On the day that it shut off, our battery bank was showing 99% on the dashboard.
When the tech said EG4 actually looked at the voltage, it was what?
Already reading around 52 volts.
A 48 volt lithium battery bank that's truly full should be closer to 56 volts.
Right.
So there was a real gap between what the system thought was true and what was actually true. And guess what? What happened?
They ran out.
They was broke.
It is actually a fairly common thing that happens, so didn't even know that.
These things tend to happen when a lithium battery bank isn't getting discharged very deeply before it gets charged back up. Which, looking back on our own discharge history, is exactly what we've been doing.
Stingy with the power.
Stingy with my solar at night. Over time, the system's idea of 100% and the battery's actual full capacity slowly drifted apart. The bigger question is how to fix it properly, and that's where it gets interesting.
Because that's where we actually got 2 different levels of an answer. So, for a 48 volt lithium battery reading, 52 volts is not truly full, even if the dashboard says that it's 99 to 100%.
State of charge drift is common on lithium battery banks that are kept near full and never deep cycled. The percentage and the real capacity slowly fall out of sync over time. A sudden drop from 99% down to 0 is a classic symptom of this drift.
Not necessarily a hardware failure. So, check calibration before you panic. The diagnosis here came from looking at the actual discharge history and not guessing. The first tech's plan was something EG4
calls a deep cycle recalibration. The idea is to force the battery bank all the way down and all the way back up so the system can resync its percentage reading to the battery's real capacity.
Here's roughly how that went. Step 1. Temporarily switch the inverter's batteries protocol to lead acid mode. On a lithium bank, that sounds odd, but it's deliberate. It lets you manually set the charge parameters instead of relying on the battery's own communication. Step 2. Set manual parameters at 56 voltage charge, 54 voltage float, and 48 voltage low DC cutoff. This defines a full true deep cycle. Step 3. Turn off the PV input and let the bank discharge all the way down through the day. Turning loads on actually speeds this up. Step 4. Once fully discharged, turn PV back on and let it charge all the way back up toward true full. And lastly, step 5, after a cycle or 2, switch back to EG4 lithium protocol so that the inverter and the batteries are communicating properly again. We also did a firmware update while we were at it.
So heads up though, be physically present for any firmware update because your system might need to be restarted.
So after following these steps, the battery bank charged back up to around 56 voltage and then it settled back down
to its cruising voltage.
So we're back on the right track now.
But here's where things got better. We weren't fully satisfied that we understood the why, so we pushed for more help. We eventually got a senior tech on the line, and they gave us the most definitive answer of the whole process. The recommendation was to top balance the battery bank instead of just cycling it. If you deliberately charge the whole bank up to a higher set point and hold it there,
so every individual battery gets brought up and equalized at the very top.
The very toppy top.
All of them at the same true full state.
And that's what basically resets the calibration between your SOC and your voltage. The specific numbers he gave us was 57.5 volt charge limit with a 54 volt float. And you can let the battery bank charge all the way up to that 57.5 limit so the batteries can top balance.
And then the 54 volt float holds them balanced from there.
Balanced.
The definitive fix here was top balancing the bank. A deep cycle recalibration, it was useful and it got the bank responding.
The actual fix was top balancing.
Nothing was broken. It was a calibration issue. So don't assume catastrophe failures before reaching out to a tech person first.
Don't break out the credit card and get ready to order some new gear because you can probably fix it yourself.
Okay, so here's the verdict. After 1 full year and 1 blackout, would we purchase this
Entire system
again? What say you?
Hell yeah.
Yes. Yes, we would. The reason why is because the system is pretty reliable. The only issue that we had was that one time that we had a blackout. And so, yes, we would actually utilize this particular system again.
When we build our final home, we're going to do a bigger system. We're going to go EG4 again.
So that's new to me because I didn't know that. Oh, really? We building a bigger system?
Yeah.
We have to do this whole stuff?
And do it again.
Okay.
But bigger. Larger inverter, more batteries.
So we're going to hire someone next time.
No, we're not. We're going to do it ourselves. But anyway, let's do a scorecard. My notes, so forgive me.
We're going to do number 1, reliability, daily reliability.
Look at you. How'd you know?
Because I'm smart.
Oh, look at you.
Daily reliability.
A score between 0 and 10.
What say you?
What say you about what?
A score between 0 and 10.
I would give it a 10 out of 10. What about
10
you?
out of 10? I would say a 10 out of 10 as well, now that I can use everything.
Number two, seasonal climate performance. What's your score?
So I have to realize that solar is not like city power. And so I have to change my thought process and change my perception when we're dealing with solar, because in the cloudy days and stuff, you don't have anything. So you do have to take that in consideration. When the sun is shining, 10 out of 10.
And I'll give it a 10 out of 10. And even when the sun's not shining, we have a Chargeverter and a big fat generator so we can keep the power going.
That's true. Okay, number 3.
Number 3. How do you feel about the app, which you hardly ever use? So you
I
can't
don't
say.
use the app, so I can't really say. Just from what I saw, it was cute.
I'll say a 9 out of 10. The laptop desktop version works perfect. The phone, you have to kind of reboot it a lot, so I'll make one mark off.
Okay.
So 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Support when it mattered. What say you?
Ra has used the support more than I have, so what say you?
I say a 10 out of 10.
Cool.
They know their stuff. They're cool people. They get back to you. We even had a conference call on a weekend on a Saturday right before they closed. So they're on top of things. I like it.
Customer service, mwah.
Bueno, bueno, bueno. Next, value for the price. What say you?
Value for the price, I would say 10 out of 10.
I say 10 out of 10 because our whole system was free. Boom.
Well, there you have
I don't
it.
know how we got it for free. Watch a video that we're going to put. So overall,
yeah, if you're off-grid homestead, even if you're not off-grid or homestead, get you a solar system because you never know. If we have a 3-day blackout, a week blackout, a month blackout, you're going to need some type of power for the power that you currently have.
anything,
Yeah.
just any type of backup situation.
Yeah.
Definitely highly recommend it. I say 10 out of 10 overall because it's free.
Yeah, the sun
is free.
yes.
Get the equipment, it's going to cost you, but the sun is free.
The sun is free
So you're
if they
getting-
don't black out the sun.
You're
But
getting
it's
power
free.
from God.
That if you are considering going solar or having solar as your backup for power, you can go into our affiliate link for Signature Solar and
Down in the descriptions
look
and
at
the
the
pinned
description.
comment.
We just want to say thank you to
Signature Solar! Insert commercial here.
If you are in the market to purchase any solar equipment,
Head on over to signaturesolar.com and use the affiliate link in the description below to save on your purchases site-wide. So if you're researching an off-grid system for your own build, drop your comments in the comment section below and we will answer each and every one of them as much as possible.
Maybe. And for all you, my DIY is better than yours. It's okay. There's levels to this stuff. We're not at that level that you're at, so it's okay.
So we just want to say thank you so much for joining us and watching our review. And if you like our shenanigans, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to share the video. And don't forget to join our Discord group. So thank you for joining us and we will see you next time. Bye.
Action.
Be quiet. Can you stop? The fridge, the refrigerator,
The fridge, the freezer,
Wait,
the
wait.
fridge, the refrigerator, the refrigerator, the freezer, the Frigidaire.
the fridge, don't make me.
Making content is stupid. You need to see somebody about the vlogs. It's got the death rattle.
It's my post name. You ready?
Yeah, electrocuted.
Deep cycle, blah, 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 blah. That's what you get for having a toothpick in your mouth.
A lot of you don't like talking technical, do you?
No, I don't. This shit is stupid.
a 57-point vibe. You got that vibe.
Ah, something bit me.
But we didn't know that we had to use the system.
We didn't know we had to use it. We just bought it to not use it.
No, I'm saying we didn't know we had to use it like that. And you're not where you get that where you belong. Are you putting that in there? Okay, bye-bye.
7 Sigma. Off-grid.